everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just want to quickly say, if you hear country music in the background or like a bunch of tapping or knocking, my husband is in the kitchen cooking supper and I don't know why he listens to country music. It's like he's not even my husband anymore. Like my eye twitches. But anyways, welcome back to Dissection section. I know I'm quite a few days late. I'm really sorry about that. I didn't mean for it to happen like that, but it just took me kind of a while to figure out what I wanted to do. One of my subscribers, or at least I think it's one of my subscribers, YouTube does this thing now where you can't see who has subscribed to you, you just know the number. But one of them, I had a really lovely discussion with them and they told me about this band and they were like, you really need to go check it out. And so I have, and we all know I love instrumentals. I found one and I dissected it and I'm really excited to share with you guys the song and then what I would have preferred to have heard over what kind of happened. So we're going to go old school with this. We are going to go back to 1996 to a band called In Flames. This was off their album The Jester Race. The one that I listened to was the remastered reissue from 2014 and the song is The Jester's Dance. This is a short song. It's only 2 minutes 9 seconds long, but Rain, if you're watching this, you were right and I stand corrected because I can definitely hear where Bullet could have gotten some of that influence from. So I would definitely say these guys are the fathers of melodic metal because I can hear what they were trying to do, but Bullet did it better and Bullet kind of brought it in the mainstream. But I will say that these guys were the fathers. So with that being said, if you're still here with me, let's dissect the song. So it starts off immediately, you're hit with a bass riff, and while it is quite simple, it's like dun, 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 dun. It's immediately broken up by this beautiful sprinkling of melodic guitar. The drums are following the bass at this time, but that's okay because this melodic guitar, it's almost like it's a mid to high range sound and it's very light. It's but it makes your ears perk up. It makes you go, huh. Like you want to listen to more, you want to figure it out, you want to hear it. When we go on to this, it goes on like this for a few seconds, and all this time, like I said, the drums are following the bass, the melodic guitar is kind of doing its thing. The drums do pick up and do like a little extra kick to differentiate, like something is about to happen, and then the melody, a few little notes are added in and it changes into more of a more complex riff. And the second guitar isn't present at this time when all of this is happening, but then the chorus type hits and the second guitar comes in. Now, when the second guitar comes in and right before it, I really, really love the way that they let that melodic guitar, instead of just letting the notes drop down, drop off, they let it reverberate for just a second. They let it smoothly flow out. I love when bands do this. I love when guitarists do this. I feel like it gives it this really nice flow to the song, if that makes sense. So you're not just having it makes the notes flow better instead of sounding choppy. So I love it. Anyways, sorry. So the second guitar comes in. When the second guitar does come in into the chorus type thing, the tuning is wrong. I don't want to say noise because I can hear what they were trying to do, but it's almost like if you would have taken like a Jackson Flying V, think Bullet, The Poison, or Screaming Fire, like a Jackson Flying V, that light, that mid to high range sound, and then you take a Les Paul and the way that they typically sound, the way that the body of the sound kind of carries, it's distorted, but it's still the same pitch. It's in the same tuning, so it doesn't blend together well. So it's kind of like, it kind of mushes together, but it doesn't flow very well. So the guitar does this, and this is kind of the chorus, and then it breaks down into like a grungy type thing. And when it does this, they're both playing the same riff. And like I said, it's still like a mix-up between this like really high distorted guitar trying to blend with this light-fingered mid to high range sound Jackson V. and it doesn't work for me. And what also doesn't work for me is that the drums aren't doing anything different. They aren't doing anything special. They aren't bringing more depth. There isn't any double kicks or anything at this time. When the chorus kind of ends, they go into a grungy thing, but they're doing the exact same riff. And then the melody comes back in, but it only comes back in for a short few seconds, and then it's like another mini bridge type thing, and then it gets grungy again, and then there's another melody phase, but it's the simple melody from the beginning of the song in both of these parts, and then it just fades out. So that's the song in a nutshell. I'm looking back at my notes to make sure that that I haven't missed anything. But what I would have preferred and what I would have liked to hear in this song, what I think would have really made it pop, is if they had done this. The beginning is wonderful. The beginning is great. Like I said, it really brings you into the song. It's a great intro. But when the drum kind of does this little, it adds just a couple of extra notes in the drums to kind of differentiate, and when the melody changes and it becomes more dynamic, I would have brought the second guitar in at this time. I would have dropped the tuning. I would have made it beefier. I would have made it grungier. If you are going to have that distorted Les Paul kind of sound that kind of wanes, I would have brought it down, so that way you had the high and you had your low and they're lightly blending. Then that way, when the distorted guitar has its moment in the chorus, you can hear the high and lows. I would have had the drums do something different at this time. I would have had the drums do something different than your bass drum drum riff that they're doing all throughout the song. I would have had them go a little bit crazy, bring a little more depth, bring a little more like to the chorus. I would have had the distorted guitar have its moment. It would have been dropped lower. The melodic guitar, it could have still had that dynamic riff, maybe drawn out a couple little bit more notes to just notes to just kind of blend better with the guitar. And then when they both go into that grungy thing, and in the original song when they're both kind of doing the same riff, I would have had them do something different. I would have had either just let the distorted guitar have its grungy moment, and then in the space that comes next where it's just melodic for a couple of seconds, I would have had a ripping solo, like rip me to fucking shreds. I would have had a ripping solo in this space. I feel like it was a really good space where you could have put a solo, but they didn't. They just did the simple melody again, and then it goes back into the grungy. And they're both doing the same riff. Like I said, I would have dropped the tuning on the distorted guitar, the Les Paul. I would have, and I'm just calling it that so we can differentiate, I would have dropped the tuning on the Les Paul. I would have given the Jackson Flying V a little bit more, a few more notes, and they could have done that riff together. And then when you are going to do the last melody, if it is going to be like that simple and it's going to remind you of the beginning, so we have like we've made like a full metamorphosis, instead of just letting it like fade out, I would have slowed it down, and then I would have left it end on a drawn out reverberated note. And I feel like that would be the song that would just do it for me. That is what I would have liked to have heard in this song. However, with that being said, in 1996, this was new. This was like, not a lot of bands were doing this sound, and I can hear what they were trying to do and what bands do now. And you know, this was Pearl Jam, this was Nirvana, this was grunge, this was the 90s. Or if you were a kid like me and you were 6 years old, you were listening to Aqua and Barbie Girl, but that's okay, you know, Spice Girls. Let's have our moment. I mean, I'm human. So yeah, this was the 90s, and to have this is really unique, and I really love it. Thank you again to Rain for kind of introducing me to this band. If you guys have any suggestions of a band that you think I might like, and I dissect a song, I dissect these songs because I love them, and I really listen to them, and I let my ears pick up every little piece, and then I put my 2 cents in, but that doesn't take away anything from the artist. These are brilliant musicians, and I love them to bits now. And I just wanted to quickly say that before we end. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you'll subscribe, and I will see you all later. Be safe. Peace.